Imagine spending $5,000 on a machine, crowning it as the absolute king of your professional workflow, only for the company that built it to quietly discontinue it just a few years later, leaving it to drift into the tech graveyard. That is the haunting, fascinating, and deeply misunderstood story of the Apple iMac Pro. When it was released, it was a sleek space gray monolith of pure, unadulterated power. It was designed for the elite, the Hollywood film editors, the high-end software developers, and the industrial designers who pushed computing to its absolute limits. But today, it stands as one of the most polarizing and mysterious chapters in Apple's modern history. Many people look at the iMac Pro now and see an overpriced relic of the past. They think it's just an old Intel machine trapped in a dead ecosystem. But they are missing the bigger picture. The iMac Pro was never just a computer. It was a radical, high-stakes experiment. It was a bridge between two entirely different eras of technology. A machine that solved a massive crisis inside Apple, and a device that still holds secrets that make it highly relevant today. If you think this machine is obsolete, prepare to be completely proven wrong. I narrate this video. We are going to peel back the layers of this legendary machine, look at the brutal reality of its performance, uncover why it was suddenly killed off, and answer the ultimate question. Is this discarded king still a hidden superpower for creators today? Let's start by looking back at the desperate crisis that gave birth to this space gray beast. To truly understand why the iMac Pro exists, you have to understand the sheer panic that was happening inside Apple's headquarters around 2016. For years, professional users had relied on the Mac Pro, specifically the infamous trash can Mac Pro released in 2013. Apple had tried to revolutionize the desktop by making it small, round, and incredibly futuristic. But it was a catastrophic failure of engineering. The thermal design was a dead end. It couldn't handle the massive heat generated by dual graphics cards. And as components grew more powerful, Apple found themselves completely trapped. They couldn't upgrade it. The creative industry was furious. Hollywood editing bays, major recording studios, and top-tier developers were actively preparing to abandon Apple entirely and migrate to Windows PCs. Apple was on the verge of losing the very audience that built their reputation. They needed a savior, and they needed it immediately. But engineering a brand new modular Mac Pro from scratch would take years. So, Apple's top engineers did something unprecedented. They took their most iconic consumer design, the all-in-one iMac, and decided to gut it, reinvent it, and transform it into an industrial-grade workstation. When the iMac Pro dropped in late 2017, it shocked the tech world. Apple didn't just paint it space gray to look cool, though it looked absolutely spectacular. They re-engineered the entire internal architecture from the ground up. To cram workstation-class Intel Xeon processors up to 18 cores and high-end AMD Radeon Pro Vega graphics into a chassis that was only 5mm thin at the edges seemed like an impossible task. If they failed, the machine would literally melt itself from the inside out. To solve this, Apple threw away the traditional internal layouts. They developed a massive dual-blower thermal system that increased airflow by an astonishing 80% compared to the standard iMac.